Tuesday.
I,
Tuesday, sorry.
I know,
Whatever.
Annie
Wednesday.
thought I'd got the dates wrong for the live chat. She said,
Hey,
how can you? She said, you live chat's on the 1st of April. I said, yes. She says, well, how can it be the 2nd of April as well? I said, it's Cathy. Oh, yes, she said. Time difference. So what you wanted to talk about today was red flags.
oh, yes. Yes, we've got lots of them, haven't we?
We have, but there's one thing that I would like to say is we have lots of red flags. And the important thing is to, if you notice red flags, stand back and think, because so many times we get a victim that's had a big loss and they will say, well, I actually noticed the red flags, but I didn't want them to be red flags, so I ignored them.
Why?
And we hear that. I mean, I know nobody wants, I'm just trying to get nobody wants, if you're invested in somebody, you know, if you're talking to somebody, you really, really like them. I know it's difficult to then step back, but it's better to step back at the beginning and be hurt and cry and angry than when you've lost a lot of money and a lot of pride as well.
You know, and we tell them, Ruth, we educate them so much and they refuse to listen sometimes.
Well, we don't call them honey and dear and my queen.
No. Oh, God, I hate this. You know, I didn't realise how much I hated those titles until I became part of the team. It really is a trigger for me. You know, if I hear honey, dear, queen, oh, hey, pretty.
Yeah, oh, that's mine. That's my trigger. Hello, pretty.
Oh,
I just want to slap them. I really do want to slap them.
Slap them
You
with
know,
the wet.
it was funny. A
Face.
reporter, I talked
Hi,
to a
Gailey.
reporter today, and she said to me, have you ever been to West Africa to talk to the scammers? And I said, no. I said, either I would kill them or they would kill me. I said, but it wouldn't go very well. You know, I mean, the first.
And also,
Go on.
I was going to say, and also, Ruth, they have a habit of, okay, their scammer will confess and they will continue talking to them. And then it's another good way of roping the victim back in again.
The way I look at it is, if you've been a victim, you're kind and you are willing to listen and you're kind enough to help them with this money. So when they actually confess, oh, you know, it is so poor, it's really bad here, we can't do anything else, they know the victim's going to take that in. And so they really know that they're onto a good thing from the start, you know. And I just would like people to tell them where to go and get out. And you've got to remember that, you know, we've talked to some women who have had this confession. The confession is as much of a script as the military, the doctor, the oil rig. They all say the same thing. Now, all the mothers can't be in hospital and they have to, you know, scam for the medical bills. They can't all be in hospital. Oh, we haven't eaten for 3 days. No, but you're on an iPhone and, you know, the internet's not cheap over there. So, you know, you use a little bit of thought, because you've got to stand. Doesn't matter how nice he is, you've got to stand back one bit, you know, because they are just on text. I mean, and I'm going to say this because I say it every week, I think. Military, doctor, oil rig, engineer or contractor, and they will all, 100% of them, be fake.
Of course they will. And they won't video call you.
No, but all of those. Now, if people listen to that bit, we could pack in and go home and scamming would stop because they all have the same stories. But nobody wants to listen to that bit. Oh, I know, but this one's nice. Can you just check him out for me? Because I've talked to scammers before, but this one's really nice. He's different. And they're not.
They're not.
They are not any different at all. You might be a different person.
And as we
but
know, they also work in teams. They work in groups. You're not just talking to one scammer, people. You're talking to many.
you're talking
They
to
work in
whichever one's on shift, hi Jane, whichever one's on shift at the time that's your slot. So it could be anybody, really. I mean, some of them are, it's funny, but you talk to some victims and they'll say, yeah, sometimes he was really good and sometimes he was really nice and other times he just seemed different. There's a good reason for that. It was different, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If it's coming through on text, stand back and think.
Yeah, yeah. And your money is too important to give away freely. It's okay if you've got a family member who's got a dire crisis and they need a couple of $100. That's fine. But when you've got a person who you have never ever met, never set eyes on,
No. I mean,
no.
they're very nice to you, but if I was in a relationship with a man here and I saw him every day, and I wasn't living with him, but I saw him every day and I was in a relationship with him and we were getting on really, really well. And he turned around to me and said, oh, Ruth, never guess what happened. I've had my bank account frozen and I really, really need some money this week. Would you be able to lend me some money just until I get it sorted out? Now, if that was somebody face to face with me, I would say no. It wouldn't have lasted any longer.
No.
Because money's a funny thing. You have money because you've either worked for it or you've come into the money, if family members died or something. But that money that you have at some point has been earned. Now we're talking about people who want that money, but they don't want to earn it. They want to steal it.
And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
And so people say to me, what do I look out for? And if you say to them, any man that comes to you, or I'm sorry, gentlemen, any young girl that comes to you, on social media or on a game, they will always be fake. Now, you might not like that, but it's perfectly true. Because if you think about it in your own life, I don't know any men who go through Facebook and decide to contact somebody.
No.
Because
not.
they just don't, you know.
And I'm sure they weren't brought up that way too either, Ruth.
Yeah.
But because Nigeria, as we know, Nigeria is a impoverished country, and scamming is in the top 3 of employments in Nigeria, and they accept it.
Yeah, I mean, the president himself said that 75% of those in university students scam to get through. It's like, oh, well, they do it. There's not any condemnation of it. It's just a matter of fact. They do it, and so it would be really nice if they got nothing. And again, today we've had somebody Phil is in a relationship with Dr. Karen Bickmaz.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking to her daughter, and she won't have it. Won't have it at all. He's got a completely different name. Can't remember the name. It's a bit stupid. Patrick Ben or something like that. She's shown her everything to do with Dr. Bickmaz, but the scammer said, "I'm real, babe. I know my pictures are being used, but don't worry, I'm the real one." Now, the thing about Dr. Bickmaz is he does speak English, but badly. So you could really tell if you had any sort of call with him. With the scammer, you could really tell because he's Turkish, and you could tell he is, you know. But this daughter is really upset because mum will just not believe. And
You know, it's so sad. I've had some victims of recent who are pensioners. Their pension goes into their bank accounts, and an hour later, all their pension goes out to the scammers.
yeah,
That's awful. You haven't got money for food. You haven't got money for rent or your mortgage payment. You know, I've even had victims come to me and say that they've had to eat their cat food.
ugh,
I know.
couldn't manage that, Maisie.
I know. And then you've got the celebrity ones. Oh, my goodness gracious. They are rife down here.
They are coming out of our ears at the moment. I had one today, one poor bloke today, and he said his girlfriend was talking to Kate. So there was two anyway. They weren't the best looking. They were a bit old and rocky face and music, you know. But so he showed her where one of them had put a warning out about being used. And she said, "Oh, that's all right." He's explained that. That was 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he sorted it out now. So as soon as she said anything to her scammer, he had an answer that she accepted. Now, the one thing about, you see, celebrity scams are easy because if you get, you know, an oil rig man saying hello pretty, they've got to work at the first bit of the military to get you to like them. But when it's a celebrity, you like them anyway. So that bit's broken down. And there's all sorts of excuses, but all of them have this fan card for a meet and greet, for tickets, for everything. Now, I remember when they first started this was $200. Now it's $2,000 or $3,000 for the top ones. And the scammers are getting the money with absolutely no proof, because of course they can't really video chat because, you know, the management wouldn't let them do that.
That's right. And also their management looks after their accounts. They don't have access to their accounts. I'm in the start of helping a person whose parent is in a scam at the moment with Keanu Reeves.
The man with 57,000 wives.
Yeah, and this person has been in the scam for 3 years. Yeah, terribly sad. Terribly sad. And I was on video call with the person's children yesterday, and I was educating them, and everything I said, they said, "How did you know that?" And I said, "Because it's true. This is what they do."
Yeah. There isn't anything that anybody could tell us that's new, because we know this They just use the same old thing over and over again. So, you
do.
know, but, you know, again, um, going back to this woman who's got two,
Mm,
I offered to talk to her if, you know, if she wants to be taught. She's in the UK. So I
mm-hmm,
offered to, so I said to her boyfriend, look, if she'll talk, I'll
mm,
talk to her. Hello, Christina.
mm,
But um, I don't think there is a celebrity that they're not using at the moment. Every single day we seem to get more messages about, have you got anything about them using this person or this person or this person? And it's like they've just gone down all. Some of them I've never heard of, because some
mm,
of them, especially the ones, the country music ones, because we don't have it, and neither do you.
mm,
But there's got to be a point where people stop and think,
mm, mm.
because why would Keanu Reeves need an Apple iTunes card?
Mm. Why would he need money to pay for a plane fare to come out and see you secretly?
Exactly. Yeah, especially
No,
because it's got to be a private plane because he's important.
that's
But
right.
you know, this um this fake fan card for the celebrity ones.
Mm, mm,
If you had, you know, they do it with my Brian. If you had Brian May asking people for £2,000 to get a fan card, it would be in the news, because everybody would be saying, what a horrible person, charging all these fans 2,000 to meet him and things like that. Now, you know, I say to people, Google it. Google it and see what you find, because if they're offering it to you on Facebook, Kevin Costner and Gerard Butler, oh, honestly, Engelbert Humperdinck, Jane.
mm-hmm.
There was another one. Can't remember which one it was. Was it Willie
They,
Nelson? Anyway, it was a dead one. But the hex scammer didn't know he was dead. Should you take a threat seriously if they said they'll come kill daughter and family? Absolutely not. You should get well away from them. You should
mm,
ban them. You should block them from getting to you. Basically, they are doing this because they know they can worry you. And by worrying you by text, they've got the upper hand. Actually,
it's scare
yeah,
tactics, and they cannot come and hurt you.
you've got the upper hand on this, Christina, because they're not going to come and hurt you. They're
No.
not going to come and need any money. You don't have to pay them anything. And you're talking about the dregs of society here. You're talking about the lowest of the low of human nature. So, yes, the threats by text sound awful, but they are threats by text. You have
Mm,
got a dozen little boys sat in a hotel somewhere in Nigeria, and oh yeah, I'm going to worry you. I'm going to really worry you. That's all
mm,
they're doing. And you are worried. Nobody more than this one down here, when she came out of her scam, because they'd done
mm-hmm.
exactly the same to Cathy. They were going to
Yep.
come round. They had people near where she lived, and they were
Mm,
going to come round and get her.
yep.
So
And
much
I
so the poor
think
dog
about,
didn't get.
and I
So
think
much
about
so the poor
security
dog didn't
system.
even get a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90. Oh, I say 95% from Nigeria. To be honest, I think that's higher. Hi, Mary. I think that is. He claims to live in the UK. Well, Christina, can I answer that with something?
Area.
Mary's just stolen my thunder there. I can say I'm Queen of England. Do you believe me?
Mm, mm,
Now, that's always my, when he says, when we get a he said, that's always my, okay, we're on video. Normally I'm on text. But
mm,
anybody can say anything to you, but they can't prove it.
mm, mm,
Doesn't live in the UK. He lives in bloody Nigeria. Let him stay there, but block,
mm,
because you need need to exert your authority,
mm,
which you've got the upper hand in this.
And I've also got to raise also too, Ruth, is when they're talking to you in text, and you think, my gosh, their grammar is appalling, and they're supposed to be a professional. That's a dead giveaway. A dead
It is. I mean,
giveaway.
I've had some that were very good, but not many. And even the very good ones, they if the number is +234, exactly, Gina. If it's +234, he's in Nigeria. He could say he was in the end of the street. He's not. But you see, we've got this thing. If I was to rename Scam Haters United, I would rename it Hate He Said, because that's one of the worst things we get. But he said, I can say I can identify, I like this, like transing, I can identify as a 25-year-old skinny little multi-millionaire, but they wouldn't let me go and log in the Ritz. Yeah, I couldn't go and live in the Ritz because I couldn't pay the bill. But anybody can say anything to you by text.
Yeah. And Christina has just said that it's weird. There's another number under that one. How does that work? Well, it works because it's VoIP numbers, and VoIP numbers are voice over internet protocol numbers, and they're numbers that you can get off the internet, and they will use that number. And they could be anywhere in the world.
They choose a number. So say I wanted to make it look as though I came from New York. I could go on Google Voice or Envoy. There are plenty of companies. And I can register and I can choose my own number. And I can get a nice New York number. And what I can do, I can call Cathy with it. Because I can use it on my phone here. And I can call Cathy with it. And Cathy can have a look and think, who do I know in New York? Because that's the number that comes up. The New York, so she can have a look at the number and go, that's in New York, who's that? It's a tool that they use, and they use them endlessly. If you block one, they probably use another one. And this is another thing where people say, I've got his telephone number, I think I can trace him. No, you can't. Because on voice over internet protocol ones, they're just registered. So so don't worry, Christina. I would actually feel good about yourself that you'll have annoyed the life out of him by blocking him, but they can't do anything about it. So just know that
and see,
coming out visit.
And if he's spinning lies back to him. I mean, and then block him, because don't give them any look. They crave for an audience.
Yeah,
because they think, oh yes, I'm going to get this one, or I'm going to get that one. No.
You've also got to take into account culture, because in African culture, the women are very much second-class citizens. They have to do as they're told. Yeah. You see, the thing is, so Christina, I don't need to tell you how awful these people are. He's threatened with killing your daughter first. What a nice lad. What a really nice lad. This is the level of person who scams. It's not I'm looking forward to seeing you, honey. Will you marry me? You are so beautiful, my queen. Get rid of that. That's just what they say. The real honest to goodness character of these people are the ones who sat there thinking, I'm going to tell her I'm going to kill the daughter. That will frighten her.
I've got some news. Sorry.
Go
I've
on.
got some news for you too. Since I last spoke to you, my scammer actually contacted me again. And he wanted to apologise. And he said that he was a 22-year-old university student, and he was studying media at university,
It's
and
the
he
old
had to pay for
two.
his funds. Yep. And
Yeah.
of course, I blocked him. Didn't even answer him.
No.
Didn't even answer him. So exactly what Ruth and I are saying. Even if they come back to you and they confess, don't answer.
No.
Block. Just block all
It's like
communication.
they they just want you to pay. They want to say pay and you say how much and when. I mean, that's basically what they want. If you think about it, like when your phone contract's coming to an end and you phone up to cancel it, you go through to retentions and they talk you into staying with them. Well, it's very similar to that in a way. You've got people on that team who want to keep you, so the blackmail experts, things like that. But there is a great line in a movie: "You have no power over me," and that is a fantastic line because they have no power over you. Christina, I have two sayings that are probably going to upset everybody now. If he is hot and you are not, it's a scam. And the less than kind one, if you're a chunk and he's a hunk, it's a scam. Now, both of those were given to me by victims and were not ones that I made up, but I love them. I really do
And they
love
stick
them.
with you. Yep, they stick with you.
Because basically, hot young guys are not looking for older women online. Now, you get some people who'll say, "Oh, you trying to tell me I can't attract a younger man?" Yeah. But never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Look,
what they do. But
unfortunately,
it's
unfortunately,
online.
scamming, yeah, that's right. It is online. And unfortunately, scamming is never going to stop. It's here to stay, but it's our choice whether we go with it or we don't go with it. And
When the
my
money stops, the scam
the
stops.
scam stops. That's right. That's
Because the
exactly right.
police aren't going to do anything about it. The government aren't
No.
going to do anything about it. When the money stops, the scams stop. Because that's all it's about. And you know, they tell us things like, "We sell love and you buy it." They actually think we enjoy this. They just arrogant. But no, blocking them's great. I mean, it's a bit passive. It's a bit you can't really. I always think it would be nice if we could see them, because I want to see them seethe. I want to see them sort of like swearing at their phone because you blocked them. But it does
You've
work.
got the power. Remember, you've got the power. That's it.
And don't
It's that easy.
unblock them,
No.
because I get sick
God.
of women saying I unblocked him after 3 days.
Mm.
Yeah, you see, it is a mistake to accept anybody. Sorry, but it is. And again, Christina, if somebody knocked on your front door and you opened the door and he said to you, "Hello, pretty, can I come in and get to know you more better?" You would, that's me and Mel like that one, more better. You'd on, you'd run, you'd be absolutely, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" They come to you on your phone and you think, "Oh, he's nice," but they're not. But stop and think. Don't just jump in. Because, Christina, this is all about money. He doesn't know who you are. If I showed your scammer, if I showed your scammer a picture of you, he wouldn't know who you are. And I can guarantee that, because they've got a list of women that they're scamming. So they lose you. They're not actually distraught because they've got lots of others.
Talking about that, Ruth, I want to emphasize too that when you're in a scam and they're calling you those endearing names, The reason why they're calling you those endearing names and not your name is because exactly what Ruth is saying. They are scamming many, many victims at the one time, and they do that so they don't get your name mixed up.
You see, it's no good if they called you, you know, if they were talking to you, Christina, and they called you Cathy, you'd say, who's Cathy? And if they were talking to Cathy and called you, say, hello, Gina. Oh, who's Gina? So if it's babe, dear, honey, they're not going to get you mixed up with anybody else, and you're going to think, oh, that's really sweet. That's really nice. He's called me babe. And I've seen such a lot of people answer babe back, and you would never use babe in real life.
No.
But you know, the people say, I'll show you me chats. So they show us the chats and they're calling them babe. Well, you know, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't do it. No. They wouldn't. I once had a conversation, and a journalist on a very, very good program actually proved it, where he had a list of 83 women. 83 women. They showed him the woman on the top, who was the last woman he'd spoken to, and asked him who it was, and he didn't know because she was number one. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her face because he had them actually numbered. He just had he had them numbered down 1 to 83.
Misty.
Hi, Misty.
Yeah.
He has to know me from somewhere because he messaged you on WhatsApp first. Have you ever talked to somebody and given out your number, Christina? Or, yeah, a friend could have given it to him, you know, but not a friend of yours. Have you ever talked to anybody and given them your number? Because for any reason, it might not be a romance thing. It might be that they promised you, you know. So it just... WhatsApp, I hate, because once they've got your number, you know, at least with Telegram, they can't harass you all the time. Nobody uses Telegram except scammers. Yeah, Glenn, never answer to somebody you don't know. And you know, we say all the time, I must say it 100 times a day, never accept a friend or a follow request from a stranger.
Oh, so true.
Isn't that so simple? And every day, everybody does it. Brian Romero. I know Brian Romero. It possibly, if you had, can I explain something called the sucker list? Because there is something called the sucker list. And basically, you know, when you go to a shop and you buy a bed. Hi, Dana. And you know, your marketing, you know, your name and address will be sold on because you bought a bed or you bought a sofa, you know, you bought something. Now, scammers are very, very similar. You have believed somebody once, so then you will go on the sucker list, which means other ones will try you. They try to compile something called a FULZ, FULLZ, which is as much information as they can about you. So it'll be your name, it'll be your age, it'll be your birthday, your address, anything else that they can get. And they will sell that on the sucker list. So and the scammer never gets nothing. I mean, even if he just gets something for selling you, there might just be a few dollars for selling you, but they never get nothing. And
once you're on the list, you're never off it.
No. I had a lady who 10 years after her scam, she was in the United States, she received something from the IRS, and somebody had used her social security number to try and obtain some welfare in a completely different state. And that was 10 years after her scam. You have got to look out for anything unusual for a very long time. But if anybody then comes to you, like somebody come to you on WhatsApp, now, Christina, I am going to say something that should never have been answered. Never have been answered at all. So
delete it straight away.
Yeah, just delete it. I mean, it's all right if you've given it to your Brenda or your Bobby, and they come through on WhatsApp. That's fine. But anybody else with any story at all, basically, you should not be accepting them. It's easy for me to say. I get that. I'm just having a quick look at something. It is.
And also
That back here, it's easy.
Yeah, and tighten your security systems, your security settings up on your social media. It's easy to do. It is so easy. Nobody can accept me as a friend at all unless I approve it, where they'll send me a message, I'll get it in my spam folder, and it will be a genuine victim. And I will actually talk to them on the business suite, and I will gain their knowledge of what has happened. And then once I feel comfortable and I realise that this person is really a victim, offer them a video call, because scammers won't.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I always offer my victims a video call, because that way they know that I can see that I am real and I'm not a scammer.
And that to me is a very big thing. That we all do it. We all do it. We all do it for that reason, because we can prove who we are. Gina, I did once. Oh, what a mistake it was. Hello, I'm your long lost cousin that you never seen for years. What was the reason I hadn't seen her for years? On social media, you have everything private. They used to send you a lot of friend requests through Insta. Never face. Just they will. That's all I'm saying, is they will. And if you accept them, you get more. Basically, it is a bit like junk mail. Hi Ruth, Hauser is coming to your state. All but too fast for you to drive alone.
Real
Oh, I would be Misty. I would be gutted. I really would be, because he's something. I love Hauser. He's my he de-stresses me. Does Hauser? I put his Instagram page up, and I flick through it, and I played it, and he's my de-stressor. Is Hauser. Looks all right as well, but I'm not talking about that, because he's only young, and his girlfriend's gorgeous. But I do love his music as well. Oh, Misty. Yeah, you keep looking. You keep getting people to go with. Not Miss Hauser. But yeah.
That's really a torment, isn't it?
Yes. We would like to see our objective is no victims. It's really no victims, because we do this. I was asked again today, why do we do this? Well, we do it because we know about it. And once you know about it, it's very, very difficult to stand it back, because you think, I've got to tell people about this.
Of course you do.
Thank you, Glenn. And
thank you.
And it's sort of like, well, if I don't tell everybody, who's going to tell them? Because we know about it, so we've got to tell you. And as we said before, the police aren't going to stop it. Their government's not going to stop it. The only thing that will stop it is them not getting any money. The only way that they won't get any money is when everybody knows that anybody that comes to them is going to be fake. It's simple as that.
And I think also too, Ruth, is we do it because we are very compassionate about our victims. We listen. We don't judge at all. And and people who say to us, oh, oh, so stupid. You're not stupid.
They all
You
say
are
that.
not
Everybody.
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, you're not stupid. And I'm very, very lucky down here with Shoe, Oz and New Zealand. And that is, I've actually have got the support from the police service. So
Yeah. I mean,
they've they take the scams very, very seriously here in Australia. And I had cards made up and everything. Where is she?
just on my
Um,
feet. She's just round my feet, aren't you?
oh, Maisie, look at you, looking at your mama.
Bedtime.
Oh, you're
She's
beautiful.
looking at me because by this time we're tucked up in bed, me and
Well,
Maisie.
yeah, Henry's sound asleep on the floor. And yeah, so when they have a victim come into the station, they will ring me and have a chat,
I
and
mean,
I then contact the victim, which is wonderful. You
yeah,
know, and I just wish that all police services in the countries were like that.
yeah,
But they're
because
not.
so many police just will say we can't do anything about it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know.
Which is
No, she's in a
tragic.
mood, Gina. She's in a mood. She always does. She's going to be in a bigger mood because I've got Dustin next. So she's going to be even in the big mood very shortly. But look at that face. She's got the most
Oh, you
beautiful.
beautiful
Well, she is when
girl.
she's not in a mood. But dear me, she's a woman. She's a woman of a certain age. I am sure that cat is.
That's
One word of advice from
very,
change your
very good
settings.
advice. Mm. Mm.
Don't use your real name. Don't put your face on your profile. Yeah, I mean, I think on Instagram it does make a big difference.
Mm.
I mean, I put my face everywhere, so I may as well. But what we've got to do, ladies, what we've got to do, and all of you people here, we're singing. We all sing from the same hymn sheet. We're preaching to the converted, but you all know, and so
The main thing is if you get a message on social media or
yeah,
even WhatsApp, don't accept it because you don't know the person. Don't engage in conversation with the person. Don't send money to someone you have
never.
never met face.
Money,
Never,
cards, anything. Nothing.
never. You know,
And if they ask, it's not just a red flag, ladies. It's something this is a flag so big, it's banging you on the head. If they ask for anything at all, get rid. Get rid.
get rid of them. Get
I know
rid
it's
of them straight
easy
away.
to say because you might really like them. Well, we've got a woman at the moment who keeps coming back every day. No, I feel very, very sorry for her because she is madly in love with her man.
Mm.
Her
Mm.
man in the pictures.
Mm.
Except Cathy, she did say to me the other day, I know he's really old and I know he won't want me because he's 60.
Oh,
And I
that's a
felt
bit of an insult to us,
it
isn't it?
was. It was. He's really old. He's 60.
Oh,
Thought
oh
I didn't
wow.
answer her back, and I'm thinking, that's not old. But it was to her. She is an unusually young victim, but she wants this guy. But the thing is, ladies, he's gay. She doesn't like it. That she said, well, I've seen all his pictures. Just because he goes to bars by himself, and yes, and just because he goes to bars by himself, and just because he goes on holiday by himself, doesn't mean he's gay. No, but when he calls himself a daddy bear, and he takes pictures of himself naked by the sea, calling
Oh.
himself a daddy bear, it wasn't good. I think
Ruth, what do
really.
we say?
Exactly. It would only attract another man because it wouldn't attract a woman.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
a daddy
oh
bear.
Lord.
A daddy bear is a gay man. The bears they meet
Mm.
and it's usually a hairy old man.
Mm.
Is a daddy bear, and they're
Mm.
gay, but she won't have it. That he's gay. It's not even that
Mm.
good looking,
Mm.
really. Yes, 60
Talking about
years
birds,
old.
talking about birthdays, it's my Ali's birthday on Thursday, and we are going. I'm taking her to high tea, which will be lovely.
I'm going to afternoon tea towards the end of April, because my son's coming up from the south, and he wasn't here for my birthday and he wasn't here for Mother's Day, so we're going out for
Oh,
those.
lovely. And do you have something to show the ladies?
Oh, I do. It's out. It's looking at me. Oh, put it. Oh my giddy aunt, I've put it somewhere safe. Oh,
It's not in your dining room?
no, it's right where I can't miss it. And I missed it. Oh, Gayleen, I am so sorry. This came all the way from Australia, and this was made by the fair hand of Gayleen, and it's from Cathy and Alicia and Gayleen. And look at that.
It
Live
says,
like someone left the gate open.
and it's a 3 goats.
We've got a thing about goats. Goats is a bit of an in joke with us. Hi, Carla. And yeah, so live like someone left the gate. Do you know, I walked past that all day to remember for tonight, and I forgot. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? I
Yeah.
absolutely
She's
love it.
pretty talented, our Gayleen.
She is. She's very talented.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have the patience now
I
to
couldn't believe how
do
quick
that.
you got it within a week.
But less than a week. You sent it on the Friday, I think, and I came on
Yes.
the Wednesday. Hi, Sandy.
Yes.
I'm just showing them our goats. The goats.
Mm. Mm.
I loved it.
It was
I do.
beautiful. Well, my lady, I better let you go because you've got Dustin on
I
in
have.
10 minutes. You
I've got
are a brute,
Dustin.
and I'll tell you, you're going to be so tired when you finish.
I know, but it's because he moved to Alabama.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 And the
If he'd
time is
moved the other direction, it would have been a lot better. But he didn't. He moved further away, so we got the extra hour. So he
okay.
moved
And
to
we are
Alabama.
going, our daylight saving finishes on Sunday, so it'll be another time zone now.
Hours went forward. The weekend just gone, so but at least in a week or two we'll all be as we should.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you,
And
ladies. And please listen to Ruth's advice, my advice.
thank you, Gayleen. That's our clever lady.
Oh, bless.
I
Yeah.
just, as I say, we have a thing about goats is a bit of an in joke with us. But yes, Gina, thank you very much. Gina, see me in a minute. Oh, but I haven't heard from him today, but I did hear from him last night. So
Yeah. All right, my sweet. I shall let you go. Thank you, ladies. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
It'll be in the morning that I download and upload them, Cathy.
That's all
Because
right.
yeah,
Bye,
I
goodbye.
can't download it. I can't download it while I'm on with Dustin because my
No, that's okay.
internet's
That's
not good
fine.
enough here. So
Not a
I'll
problem.
do it in the morning. Thank you very much, ladies, and we'll see you again.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.